Hello, my dear students. Very good evening to all of you. As you know, today we are going to discuss about the chapter inequality. So, inequality is very important chapter for banking examinations. You know, in every examination there were 5 questions which always asked in banking examination from inequality. This is very easy chapter, so you have to know all the basics related to the inequality. What is inequality? What are the types of inequality? What are the types of the questions and how to solve the questions of inequality, how we can sort out all the problems of inequality. So we will going to discuss today in the chapter all these things, and we will clear all your doubts in this session. So let us start. What is inequality? So today, what is inequality? You know, in our society there were many things which is unequal, like as the incomes of people. Just suppose person A has X income. Just suppose a person is X and which income is A. Just suppose second person is Y and his income is B. So you know how we compare these two persons' income. What are the possibilities to compare these two incomes? So you can say the income of A might be greater than B, the income of A might be less than B, and one more thing, the income of A is equal to B. So these are the definite inequalities, because you know A is greater than B. That means you are 100% confirm the income of A is greater than income of B. If you are saying the income of A is less than income of B, that means you are 100% sure the income of A is less than income of B. If you are saying A equal to B, that means you are 100% sure the income of A will be equal to income of B. But if I will say A is greater equal to B, so this type of inequality is known as indefinite equality. Why? What is the reason why this is indefinite inequality? Because the meaning of A greater equal to B, that means A can be greater to B and A can be equal to B. So you are not confirmed what is the exact relation between A and B, but it is confirmed it may be only A greater to B or A equal to B. One more, if I will write A less equal to B, so what is the meaning of this? This meaning is A is less than B or A is equal to B. So here it is also not confirmed A is less than or A is equal to B. Is it clear? So these inequalities is known as indefinite inequalities, and these inequalities is known as definite inequality. So I hope what is the inequality, you got it? Tell me fast. Is it clear to everyone? Tell me fast. What is inequality? In you can define it in very terms. I take the only one example which is related to the society and related to the income. So I hope you got it. What is the inequality? Now we are moving forward. So these are the symbols of inequality I told you before. The symbol of X greater to Y, X less than Y, X greater equal to Y, X less equal to Y, and X equal to Y. So generally inequality, you will say, you know, there are 5 options in bank. So what are the 5 options looks like? These are the symbols for inequality, which will be looks like this. When you answer the question, so you have to answer like this. But how? The equation will be given. You have to find out the value of equations, and after that you will get the values of variables. What is the meaning of X and Y? X and Y meaning is the variables. So when you solve the equation, you will got the values of variables. So after getting the values of variables, you have to compare the values. After that, you will decide what are the inequalities between them. Is it clear? So what will be the types of the equation which will be asked in banking examinations? So we are moving forward and discussing all about those equations. So these are the types of equations. First is linear equation, second is quadratic equation, third is cubic equation, and fourth is miscellaneous equation. So first we have to know what is linear equation and what is quadratic equation, what is cubic equation, and what are the miscellaneous equation. But before knowing about the linear, quadratic, cubic and miscellaneous equation, I would like to told you the most of the questions comes from quadratic equation. If 5 questions are coming, then of only 5 out of the 5 or 5 out of the 4 out of the 5, 4 out of the 5 or 5 out of the 5 coming from quadratic equation. So that means the weightage of quadratic equation is more in comparison to other equations. So you have to focus only quadratic equation because most of the questions are coming quadratic equations. But we will discuss in the chapter every equation and the questions related to the every equation, because you have to not attempted the question 90%, you have to attempted 100% question in the examination. If you want to do so, then definitely you have to learn what are the linear equations and what are the solutions of linear equation, what are the quadratic equation and what are the solution of quadratic equation. Similarly for cubic equations and miscellaneous equations also. So these are the 4 types. What are the standard form? I will tell you. So this is the little bit introduction related to the linear equation. But before discussing about the equations, if you know about the polynomials, it is more better to understand any equation. So I hope you know the polynomial. The polynomial are polynomial related to 2 terms, poly and nomial, where poly means many and nomial means terms. So a expression which consists of many mathematical terms with alphabets and variables is known as polynomial, and the standard notation for polynomial is px. The standard notation of a polynomial, I will say in other words, the notation of single variable polynomial is px. So what is the meaning of px? Px means polynomial of x. So if any polynomial write down equal to 0, then that polynomial is known as equation. So that is the difference between polynomial and equation. If any polynomial is equal to 0, I told you what is the polynomial. Polynomial consists of 2 terms, poly and nomial. Poly means many, nomials means terms. So a expression which consists many terms, or what type of terms? So what types of terms? Mathematical terms. Mathematical terms which consist mathematical operation on numbers and variables is known as polynomial. And if that particular polynomial is equal to 0, then polynomial is known as equations. So linear equation basically is 1 degree polynomial. Quadratic equation is basically 2 degree polynomial. Cubic equation is basically 3 degree polynomial, and miscellaneous equations are which have another degree except these 1 degree, 2 degree or 3 degrees. Okay, so the standard form of linear equation you have to understand first. If I will write down a polynomial in 2 variable, this is the polynomial of 2 variable, ax plus vy plus c. This is the standard format of 2 variable polynomial in 1 degree. Why 1 degree? Because the maximum power of variables are x and y, a, b, c are constant. So the maximum power of x and y is 1. That's why this is 1 degree polynomial. Got it? So if I will write down this equation equal to 0, so this will be linear equation. So this is the standard form of linear equation. Similarly, if you write down quadratic equation, so this will be the standard form of quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, and the standard form of cubic equation will be ax cube bx square cx plus d is equal to 0. And what are the types of miscellaneous equation? So let us elaborate about the difference between a linear, quadratic, cubic and miscellaneous equation. So miscellaneous equation may be 4 degree equation, generally which will it will never asked in the examination? Most of the time I told you only quadratic equations asked in the examination, and the level of quadratic equation is such types the chapter name is known as quadratic equation in place of inequality. I hope you are getting this. This is the importance of quadratic equation in this particular chapter. The chapter name is known as quadratic equation in place of inequality. Actually chapter name is inequality, but most of the time quadratic equation are in the examinations. That's why people generally say quadratic equation. The chapter name becomes change inequality to quadratic equation. I hope you are getting my point. Okay? So what is the difference between these and these equations? So I told you this equation may be 4-degree equation, 5-degree equation, 6-degree equation, but generally 4, 5, 6-degree equations generally didn't ask in the examination. So what is the meaning from the miscellaneous equation? So first you have to understand the difference between polynomial and equation. So one difference was if polynomial write down equal to 0, then that polynomial is known as equation. But one more difference, in polynomial the power of variables always an integer. You can see the power of x is 1, that means integer. The power of y is 1, so that means this is also integer. The power of x is 2, so the power of x is 2, so this is also integer. The power of x is 1, so this is also integer. In simply one term we can say the power of exponent is an integer in polynomial. Always you have to remember, always the power of exponent, this term is known as exponent in the polynomial. So the power of exponent always will be integer, then that particular expression is polynomial. But in case of equation, it may be integer or not. Is it clear? This is the second difference. In case of equation, it may be integer or maybe not. So let us see the example. If I will write down x square plus x to the power 1 by 2 plus 2 is equal to 0. So this is equation. This is equation. The power of exponent is 2. The power of exponent is 1 by 2. So it's okay for the equation, but it is not a polynomial. Getting my point? It is not the polynomial. What is the reason? Reason is very simple. The power of exponent is not an integer. That's why this is not polynomial, but this will be equation. So this is the basic difference between a linear equation, quadratic equation, cubic equation, and miscellaneous equation. So sometimes miscellaneous equations also asked in the examination, and there is no standard solution for the miscellaneous equation. Whenever it is given, you have to go accordingly with the questions. So there will be a standard solution for linear equation, quadratic equation, and cubic equation. So we will discuss one by one. So first we are moving forward on linear equation. So there will be two types of linear equation. First is 2 variable and second is 3 variable. So in your examination, if linear equation is coming, so only 2 variable will be asked. But I told you there are two types of linear equation. First is in 2 variable and second is in 3 variable. So I hope you are getting my point. So what will be the solution? I told you before, what is the standard form of linear equation? So this is the standard form of linear equation in 2 variable, and this is the standard form of linear equation in 3 variable. So in this chapter we have to discuss only linear equation in 2 variables. So how to solve the equations? So this is the first type in 2 variable linear equation. First type is coefficient interchange. Generally whenever linear equation asked, so most of the time you will get the equation in which coefficient are interchanged. You can see the equation. First equation is 3x plus 2y is equal to 7, and second equation is 2x plus 3y equal to 5. So if you will see the coefficient of x and y, here the coefficient of x is 3 and the coefficient of y is 2. In this equation the coefficient of x is 2 and the coefficient of y is 3. So if you focus on these equations, so you can see the coefficient of x in this equation is the coefficient of y in this equation, and the coefficient of y in this equation is the coefficient of x in this equation. This means coefficient are interchanged. You can see like this also. You can see like this also. We write it down, 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. So you can see you can see 3 is here and 2 is here. That means the coefficient of x becomes coefficient of y, and the coefficient of y becomes coefficient of x. This is called coefficient interchange. Got it? What is the meaning of coefficient interchange? So if equation is given in the form of coefficient interchange, then we didn't need to solve whole equation by a elimination method or by a substitution method or by a cross multiplication method. We didn't need to do this. We can simply subtract or edit the equation and we'll get the result. We'll get the favorable result. So how? Let us see. Let's see. The equation is given. The equation is given 3x plus 2y is equal to 7. And second equation is 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. So this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. So simply what we are doing, we are going to do equation 1 minus equation 2. That means equation 2 is subtracted from equation 1. So when we will subtract it, so sign becomes changed. This will be minus, this will be minus also, this will be minus also. So if you will subtract 3x minus 2x, that means you have to subtract 2x from 3x. So 3x minus 2x, what will you get? You will get x. Similarly here, what you will get? You will get y. And what will be the value of this? This will be 2. So now you have to imagine, now you have to think about these expression. What is the meaning of x minus y? X minus y is equal to 2. That means when you are going to take the difference between x and y, you will get positive value. And you know the rule of subtraction. When you subtracted any value, so final sign always comes which value is greater. So on subtracting y from x, if you are getting positive value, so what is the meaning of this? This meaning is x is always greater than y. What is the meaning of this? This mean is x is always greater than y. If on subtracting x from y, just imagine, if you will subtract x from y and you will get 2. So that means subtracting x from y, you are getting positive value. That means y always will be greater than x. So if you will get the result something like this, so your result will be this. But you are getting x minus y is equal to positive 2. That means x, the value of x is always greater than the value of y. So I hope you got it, the coefficient interchange. Now we are moving forward. One more example. Let us see this example. So in this equation, 5x plus y is equal to 17. X minus 5y is equal to 5. So we have to solve these two equations. So first we will write down 5x plus y is equal to 17. This is the first equation. And second equation is x minus 5y is equal to 5. So simply I told you, first you have to see, is this equation related to the coefficient interchange? So you will say yes, because the coefficient of x is in coefficient of y and the coefficient of y is in coefficient of x. So simply what we have to do, I told you, the solution of such type of equations will be, you have to edit these equations or you have to subtract these equations. You have to always focus in particular question how you will get the result after subtracting the equation or after adding the equation. So in this equation you have to see, if we will subtract the equation, then what we get, and if we will add these equations, then what we get. Getting my point? So we are going to 5x plus y is equal to 17, x minus 5y is equal to 5. So we are going to subtract these equations. First minus second. We are going to subtract these equations. So if minus, this will be plus. So if you will subtract 5x, you will subtract x from 5x. So you will get 4x. If you you subtract by, and by से आपको, if you are going to subtract 5 by from y, so what you will get, y plus 5 by, that means 6y, 17 subtracted, 5 subtracted from 17, so you will get 12. So these equations are coming. If you will subtract equation number 2 from equation number 1, so what you will get, x subtracted 5x, so you will get 4x, y 5 by subtracted from y, so you will get 6y, and equal to 12. So 4x plus 6y is equal to 12. Now you have to focus these values. You can write down like this also. If you will divide it by 2 in the equation, so you will get 2x plus 3y, or and is equal to कितना हो जाएगा, is equal to the value, if you will divide it by the equation, if you will divide this equation by 2, then what you will get, 2, 3 and 6 here. So you can write down this equation like this. So what is the meaning of this? You are adding two numbers, and on adding two numbers you are always getting positive value. On adding two numbers you are always getting positive value. So on the basis of this, on the basis of addition, let us see, if you have the value x plus y is equal to 20. So on this value you never can judge x is greater than y or x is less than y, because x can be greater than y and x can be less than y. But if this statement is written as like this, so on the basis of this statement you definitely can judge x is greater than y or x less than y. So first, what I want to tell you in these equations, I told you such types of equation in which coefficient are interchange, you always solve by adding these equations or by subtracting these equations. But at the time of adding or at the time of subtracting, you have to remember this relation shouldn't become in positive. This relation should be in negative. Why? What is the reason? Because I told you, if you get positive, if you will get the relation in positive, then you cannot 100% will be sure x is greater than y or y is greater than x. But if you will get the equation in negative, then you will be 100% sure it will be positive or negative, and what will be the relation between x and y. So you got it. Now we are going to change this, because if we will do this, we will get positive value. So we will do opposite work. What is opposite work? We will subtract equation number 1 from equation 2. Got it? And if I will do so, what I will get, 5x will be subtracted from x. So when you will subtract 5x from x, so what will you get? You will get minus 4x. And when you will subtract y from 5 by, so what you will get? Tell me first, what will you get? 5 by minus y, that means 6y, and this will be equal to minus 12. This will be equal to minus 12. So when you subtracted equation 1 from equation 2, so what you get? If you multiply it by negative value in each term, so you will get 4x plus 6y is equal to 12. So again you can see, on subtracting these equations we are getting again positive value. So you know, if the expression coming in the positive form, then we will not 100% sure x is greater than y or x is less than y. One more thing, in the case of linear equation, value never will be equal to x equal to y. Never x equal to y you will get. Got it? If a linear equation is given, then only two relation can be possible, x greater than y or x less than y. So what is the conclusion of this statement? Conclusion of this statement is this simply, if equation given are in coefficient interchange, So then first we have to check on subtracting equation number 1 from equation number 2 or equation number 2 from equation number 1. If we are getting negative values, then we can compare easily what is greater and what is lowest. But if values are coming in positive form, so we will not come on conclusion x is greater than y or y is greater than x. Got it my point? So what is the use of this? Why we learn this? We have to know first. In examination, such type of equations are comes. You will see in the examination such type of equations. So this is for this type of equation we learn the concept of coefficient interchange. When you will get these type of equations, so these type of equations never can be solved in other methods. So you have to know the coefficient interchange method, and if you will focus on the coefficient interchange method, then within a 2 to 3 seconds you will get the answer. And if you didn't know about the coefficient interchange method, then you have to apply elimination method or substitution method or cross multiplication method to solve these types of equations, and after that this equation will be so tough and so time taking also. Is it clear? So we will solve these equation by coefficient interchange method. So simply first you have to see, is it coefficient interchange equation? So your answer will be yes, coefficient are interchanging. The coefficient of x becomes coefficient of y in the second equation, and the coefficient of y becomes coefficient of x in the second equation. So simply we can apply the concept of coefficient interchange in this particular equation. So when you will subtract 888 from 999, so what you will get? You will get 111x. Similarly, in this equation you will get 111y. And here you will get, when 2 will be subtracted from 3, so you will get 1. 7 minus 5 you will get 2. 8 minus 6 you will get 2, or 2 minus 1 you will get 1. So the value of this become big equal to this. You can take 111 as a common term, so x minus y will be remaining, and here value will be 1221. In the next step you will get x minus y is equal to 1221 upon 111. We didn't need to solve this because we have to focus only on the symbol which is coming in the right hand side. So on subtracting y from x you are getting the positive value, and I told you if on subtracting y from x you are getting the positive value, what is the meaning of this? This means is x is greater equal to, x is greater than y. This means x is greater than y. So this is the concept of coefficient interchange. I hope you got this. So this is the first type related to the linear equation. Now we are moving forward on the second type. So second type is ratio of coefficient are equal with the ratio of a constant coefficient. What is the meaning of this? So simply you have to see the equation first. First equation is 2x plus 5y is equal to 12, and second equation is 4x plus 3y is equal to 12. So you know, in these linear equations there are three types of terms. First is coefficient of x, second is coefficient of y, and third is constant coefficient. Similarly in these equations also, this is coefficient of x, this is coefficient of y, and this is constant coefficient. So what we have to do, what is the type of this? Now you can read, ratio of coefficient are equal. What is the meaning of this statement? In first equation the coefficient of x is 2, and in second equation the coefficient of x is 4. So we have to find the ratio between these two. We have to find out the ratio between these two. Similarly between these two also, and similarly between these two also. This is the meaning of this statement. Ratio of coefficient are equal with a ratio of constant coefficient. A ratio of coefficient should be equal with the ratio of constant coefficient. So you know, this is the ratio of constant coefficient, and these are the ratio of coefficient. These are the ratio of coefficient of x, and this is the ratio of coefficient of y. So if coefficient of x is equal to constant coefficient, or coefficient of y is equal to coefficient or constant coefficient, There will be two types in this equation. First, coefficient of x will be equal to constant coefficient, or coefficient of y will be equal to constant coefficient. So we have to focus on these two types. Let us suppose if 2/4 will be equal to 12/24, then we have to understand what happened. And the second one is if 5/3 equal to 12/24. These are basically two types on which we have to focus in this particular type. First one is the coefficient of x is equal to constant coefficient, and in second one the coefficient of y equal to coefficient of constant coefficient. So let's see this example. Is 5/3 equal to 12/24? So your answer will be no. If the coefficient of y is not equal to coefficient if a coefficient of y is not equal to constant coefficient, then from this we can't get the result. If a coefficient of y is not equal to constant coefficient, then we cannot get the result from this. Is it clear? But if the coefficient of x is equal to constant coefficient, then y equal to 0. If equation satisfying this condition, then y equal to 0, and on putting y equal to 0 you will get the value of x. If y is equal to 0, so you can put this value in any of one equation. So if I will put y is equal to 0, so what will be the value of x? Then you will get value of x is equal to 6. On putting y equal to 0, 2x becomes equal to 12, so x will be equal to 6. Similarly, you can see this equations also. If y equal to 0, so 4x equal to 24 and x equal to 6. So the value of y is shunya and the value of x will be equal to 6. So what are these the comparison of these two? The comparison of these two are x is greater than y. The comparison of these two are x is greater than y. But just imagine if the coefficient of y will be equal to constant coefficient, then what will happen? Just imagine if this condition will be satisfied, then x will be 0, and on putting the value of x you will get y, and when you will get the value of x and y, you have to compare these values, and after comparing you will get the result or you will get the inequality between this. I hope you are getting my point. So one more equation. This is one more equation, so you have to focus on this. This equation is 9x plus 7y is equal to 3, and second equation is 5x plus 14y is equal to 6. So now you have to look the coefficient of x is equal to coefficient of constant coefficient, or the coefficient of y is equal to constant coefficient. So here you can see the ratio between the coefficient of x is 9/5, and the ratio between the coefficient of y is 7/14, that means 1/2, and the ratio of constant coefficient is 1/2. So you can see this ratio is 9/5 and this ratio is 1/2. So 9/5 is not equal to 1/2, but 7/14 means 1/2, or 1/2 equal to 1/2. That means the coefficient of the ratio of the coefficient of y is equal to the ratio of constant coefficient. So we will write down if 7/14 is equal to 3/6, then x will be 0 and y equal to, on putting x equal to 0 you will get the value of y. So you have to put the value x is equal to 0, you will get the result of y. So what will be the value of y? 3/7. It will be 3/7. On putting x equal to 0, 7/7 equal to 3. So on solving you will get y is equal to 3/7. So now we have to compare these two. When you will compare these two, you will get x is less than y. You will get x less than y. So I hope you are getting all these points. So these are the this is the second type of linear equation, and third type of linear equations will be when these two conditions are not followed. Just imagine if coefficient equation are not given in the form of coefficient interchange, and the equation the ratio between the coefficient of x and coefficient of y is not equal to the constant coefficient, then how you will solve these linear equations? So if you are not getting these conditions, so it is clear we have to solve linear equation on the basis of basic methods, and basic methods are elimination method, substitution method, and cross multiplication method. So in banking examinations, to solve linear equations, you can use the cross multiplication method. And what is the cross multiplication method? We will discuss in the next class. So you will get all the things very clear regarding the coefficient interchange, or regarding the equality of equality of coefficient of x and y with constant coefficient, and what is the inequality, what are the types of inequality, and what is the meaning of the symbol of inequality. So I hope you get all these things. So thank you for coming, and thank you sessions. Goodbye, take care, love you all.